Okay, so I want to share something with you that has been going on behind the scenes over the past 2 months. This is something that initially we just told a few people, and we realized that money is coming in to our budget from this Thrive campaign, and so we needed to share out what was going on, and then we realized that since we're going to share with you, we might as well invite you to join this really exciting kind of behind the scenes effort that is keeping us all thriving. So I want to tell you a story. I have a relationship with the senior minister at First Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Dallas, Texas, that is currently the largest UU congregation in the nation or world, I guess. Is the biggest UU congregation. They have a $2.4 million annual budget. They have a 1,200 member congregation. They have a $10 million endowment. About a month ago, they celebrated their 125th anniversary. And so since I'm friends with Daniel Cantor, the senior minister, I was like, let me figure out how to scale for that kind of congregation. And let me also try and figure out where were they 25 years ago? Before they were this big, before they had all these resources. How were they thinking back then? Daniel has been the senior minister there for 25 years. The minister before him was there for 25 years. In fact, in the past century, they've only had 4 senior ministers. So one of the things that Dallas has really enjoyed is longevity and stability in their senior ministry for a very long time. So we created a learning community with 2 of my other colleagues. I invited Shari Holiday Kwan, who's the senior minister at the First Unitarian Church of Rochester, New York, which is about our size, more or less. And then I invited Reverend Gretchen Haley, who's the senior minister at Foothills UU congregation of Fort Collins, Colorado, to join in the learning community. And so we decided that we would all go to Dallas, and we would bring with us our executive director, our associate minister, some of our senior staff, and our board presidents. So Barbara Begner, Bryce Thomason, Laura Beth Brown, and I all flew to Dallas along with the leaders from these other congregations. And this was completely and totally formative, transformative. It was like life-changing for me. And we returned and very quickly, my friends, got to some serious work. We returned with major insights on leveraging the gifts that we have here in our congregation, the gifts of strategy and leadership, to come back to Atlanta and really get serious about how we are going to fulfill our dreams. So is the next slide where I talk about what those dreams are? Okay, so basically we realized that, the Building a New Way campaign. Do I need to go faster?
No.
Okay. The Building a New Way campaign was not just about this campus, right? That campaign also came with some promises that we would become, a hub, a center at the intersection of faith, activism, education, and art. That we would become a place where people from Atlanta would know us. We would no longer be hidden. And we would be leaders in our community, and through that leadership, transform Atlanta into a place that reflects the Unitarian Universalist values of celebrating diversity and love and acceptance, and all of the things that we believe in. So, but there were some things that were holding us back, from actually fulfilling the campaign, Building a New Way, the promises of that Building a New Way campaign. So some of the things that were holding us back are the fact that I am but one minister, and every other congregation that was a part of this learning cohort have 3 ministers. So even these churches that are only have 50 more members or so, more than we have, the congregation in Rochester and the congregation in Fort Collins, they all have 3 ministers. So by the end of the week, we were there for 6 days. By the end of the week, it was like, my problem is not having ideas. I can have new ideas all day long, but I just didn't have the resources to back up those ideas. So by the end of the week, every time I was like, well, maybe we could, my colleagues were like, Taryn, you can't do it. You just need more ministers. So we realized we needed to go ahead and make sure that we could fully fund a full-time associate minister for 3 years. So that was one major insight that we returned with. We also realized that we needed to get free of some of the debt from our building our campus, and that there was no way that we could really fulfill our dream, the dreams of the Building a New Way campaign, while we still had this First Horizons loan of about $500,000. So we got to pay off our First Horizon loan. We have to do it. We have to do it quickly. We have to hire a full-time associate minister for 3 years, and we have to do it right now. We have to bring our staff back up to UUA mid-range standards, and at the very least, in year 1, this year, we need to offer cost of living increases to our staff. And finally, we need to hire a sabbatical minister. Like, I need to go on sabbatical for real, and we need to have good support while I'm gone, and support that we can also, like, a sabbatical is also a time for the congregation to learn and grow. So, we're on the flight back from Dallas, and we're like, this is what we need. We need all these things. Like, we cannot build the congregation of our dreams and make this ministry as vital as it needs to be for Atlanta unless we have some funding that's going to bridge the gap between what I would say are like the two huge capital campaigns of our era. Like I'm not saying we're planning a capital campaign right now. I'm just saying that you should always be planning a capital campaign. You should always be thinking about what's next for the congregation, So in another 5, 6, 7 years, when our sanctuary is too small, like, then what are we going to do? But we needed something to bridge between the time of our big, deep dreaming. And so we we also have big plans for our endowment, and we will be speaking with the endowment committee very, very soon about those big plans, which we don't want to share with the congregation until we have shared them with the endowment committee. So we have plans to do that in January. Okay, so this is the plan. It's strategic, it is sound, and it is ambitious. This is a special mini capital campaign. The goal is $1.15 million, and this is what it's going to do. This is how the math is going to math for us. We will pay off very quickly our First Horizon debt to the tune of that amount that you see on your screen. We will make staff compensation adjustments for 3 years. That's how much that will cost us. We will go ahead and hire a full-time associate and make sure that position is fully funded for 3 years. And then we will contribute to our sabbatical minister catch-up contributions so that when I go on sabbatical, the congregation is in a very strong place and can learn from another highly skilled minister and do some learning together. So what do we need to make all of these things happen pretty quickly? Well, we just need you. We just need you to walk with us. I was saying this when we came back from Dallas, it felt like it was a trust fall. It was like, I'm just going to fall back and just see what happens. And we caught each other. That's what happened. We caught each other. The Thrive campaign is a miniature capital campaign. We called it Thrive Together because that's what we're going to do with it. We're going to thrive together. We're going to thrive together in this time when we need each other the most, when the things that we value and believe in are going to be under fire. We will need this place to be strong for us. So the duration of this miniature capital campaign will be 2 years, from October 2024 through October 2026, or 3 years for people who join. Who join now? Is it still 2 years or is it 3 years?
I was just answering your question.
Sorry, the duration is actually 3 years, from October 2024
to 26, 2 years.
Oh, 2 years.
They can make payments.
But they can make payments starting this year, which makes it 3 years of making payments. Our ask, 3 tax years. So the ask is for you to make a game-changing commitment to this moment, this era of UUCA. You can spread your payments over 3 years as long, here we go, as long as one of those years is 2024. I forgot to ask Deanne if I could share your story. Deanne, can I share your story? You can just.
Yes, that's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, great. So after Trump was elected, the stock market was at was very high. And some of those folks who had investments that were benefiting from Trump's election were feeling disgusting about that and really wanted to get that benefit, get that financial advantage out of their lives and put it towards something that they really value. And so Deanne was telling us the story that when they got that bump in their stocks, that they decided to, Deanne and Karen just decided to like prepay a pledge, give a bunch of the Thrive campaign, and just use the money that used the benefit from Trump's election against the things that that administration will surely be working for. And so that's like the one way to be a cog in the machine and to create some resistance. And Deanne kept being like doing this motion, like it just felt like dirty money and I needed to get it off of me and into something that I really believe in. So I think I love telling that story. I think that's very inspiring, something to think about. Yeah. So how has it been going? In just over 2 months. So we launched this Thrive Together miniature campaign October 1st. We presented this campaign at 5 small gatherings of donors. And so far, in just 2 months, we have 29 pledges with an average of $27,000. And that totals $782,358. We are 68% towards our goal in just 2 months, with basically just Bryce and myself, and of course with the support of the Yamashitas and Barbara and Beth. It's been a very small crew. It's not like when we had our big capital campaign and we had all these folks working together. This has just been a skeleton crew, and yet we did that trust fall and we have caught each other. We are just stunned by the outpouring of generosity from this congregation and all the folks who have participated in the Thrive campaign. So remember, this is over 3 years. So we really want to deeply thank all of these wonderful people, stewards of this congregation, who are going to see it through a time of thriving when it could have easily been otherwise. We will thrive together because of all the names on this list, and we would love to add your name. We would love to add your name to this list. So this is a game-changing investment in the future of UUCA. If we can achieve these goals, then we will fulfill the vision of our original capital campaign. We will become a hub in Atlanta for interfaith engagement, social justice learning and activism, and we will train up the leaders that we need in this community and across the Southeast, leaders who will be activists themselves and who will take our faith and use it with passion and organizing skills that we think we can offer. And the truth is, we're already doing it. We're already on our way to actualizing this dream. We are using this campus in the ways that we promised each other we would. We had a super successful Soul Summit, Leadership Summit for UU leaders across the Southeast in last March. We thought maybe we'd get 60 people or so. We had 100. This year, we will host Soul Summit once again, thus becoming known as leaders in Unitarian Universalism, especially across the Southeast, training up leaders in UU congregations who want to come and learn from us and how we're doing it in Atlanta. And then, of course, I think that our response to Hurricane Helene was another moment where we realized we are really living into the dreams and the hopes that we launched when we launched our Building a New Way campaign. So we are doing it. We just need a little bridge to get us to cross over to where we really want to be. And I think the choice of this moment is always the choice that's in front of us. Do we want to exist for ourselves alone? Or do we want to transform Atlanta and maybe beyond Atlanta and reshape our city, our state, our region, maybe our nation. I really believe in us, and I hope you believe in us too. Oh, there's another one? Okay, so today we are asking for your game-changing pledge, giving you 3 tax years for your gifts to thrive together. Now remember, this is on top of, this is in addition to the stewardship campaign for 2024, 2025, and 2026. We only need $368,000 to reach our goal, and we think this is very possible. The question is, how soon is it possible? Let's do it right now. Let's do it today. If you think that you have the opportunity to make a contribution to the Thrive Together campaign, please go to uuca.org, Thrive Together, or just reach out to Bryce and myself. We would love to talk to you more and spend some time with you and share more about this Thrive Together campaign and see what we can do together. Thank you all.